guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Katie and I'm a stay-at-home mom of 4. I also run the budget shop Purple Glimmer Budgets, which is where you're going to find a lot of the products that I use in my videos. You can find my shop on Etsy or also my website PurpleGlimmerBudgets.com, both of which are listed in the description. My husband and I journey to pay off a lot of our high interest debt using the cash stuffing method as a way to control our expenses. If this is something you'd like to follow along with, just keep watching. In today's video, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to kind of go over all of the various binders and wallets that I use in my cash budgeting journey, as well as some suggestions for those who are newly starting out. Before getting to the video, if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to my channel, I greatly appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. I'm on a quest to reach 1,000 subscribers, so everyone who subscribes to my channel helps me reach that goal that much faster. I really am hoping to reach that goal by the end of the year, but we will definitely see how that plays out. Also, if you have a moment to interact with my content, it could be something similar like a thumbs up or leaving me a comment below. That's always appreciated as well. It helps get my content out there more. Also, if you have any tips for anyone who's newly into cash budgeting, drop them below so we can help each other out. I'm just kind of going through my setup and how it's kind of evolved, just to kind of give you some starting points if you're new to this. So when I restarted my cash budgeting journey on this channel, these were the 3 wallets that I started with. So let's go ahead and go through them. We'll start with this one first. They're very thin right now because I just did my unstuffing. I want to say that the categories in here have always been about the same. So this is what I would kind of call my weekly spending wallet. Honestly, if this one is empty at the end of the week, that is fine. I'm okay with that because that's kind of the goal for this. So this is stuff that's constantly being spent like almost every single week. So these categories I have is gas, groceries, eating out, spending, which is kind of a buffer category for me, and then miscellaneous, which is also a buffer category. You'll see that there's a little bit of cash in here. What's going to probably happen with this is a little bit of it I'm going to roll in my next stuffing. Some of it I might unstuff and move to savings challenges. So this is one of the first wallets that I started with. And then let me go to the pink one. This is what I consider like more high priority or more fun sinking funds. These are ones that I'm like going to be in and out of a lot more often than the categories that are kind of found in here. So in these categories is personal care, household, clothing, kids, pet care, car maintenance, and lawn care. So these ones are ones that I kind of have like more of like a high in and out, high usage, I guess I could say, with these categories. So that's kind of why I deem these as more high priority. And then this is going to be what I call my low priority wallet. So it has my car tags, my membership. So this is Sam's Club, and it is currently fully funded. Birthdays, Christmas, vacation, gifts. So this is for like any gifts besides my core family. So that would be myself, my husband, and our 4 kids. Those are in birthdays, and then anything else comes through here. Now Christmas, that encompasses any type of Christmas spending we have. So these are what I consider like my low priority sinking funds. So these are funds that I don't have to like can be consistent with, and like there's not as big of a stress on having them funded super quickly because it can take, I don't need to have them like done every month. Whereas these ones, I would say I'm probably spending out of these categories at least once a month, if not more frequent. And then this one, it's a guarantee that I'm draining this money or getting close to it on that. So that's just kind of the system that I came up with when I was doing this, because a lot of cash budgeters, you'll see them have like a high priority and low priority sinking fund or high priority and low priority binder. So I wanted to kind of adapt that myself. And then these are the categories that I want to keep like a hawk eye on, because I know that these are categories that can get completely out of control. And these are the categories that I know if I don't keep myself in check, I will just completely overspend. Honestly, I'm still kind of doing that from here to there. But I just kind of make it work. Also, if you've watched my channel, you'll see that I'm not afraid to kind of borrow or take from other categories just to like have the overall money coming out on a weekly basis come from these wallets rather than doing IOUs. I do use IOUs on my channel, but that's typically infrequent and far between. But I'm not afraid to do that. Usually when I'm doing an IOU on some type of money that I'm pulling from this, that's because it's something that's been put on a credit card on long-term financing. So I know I have plenty of time to replenish that cash for that spending. So that's just kind of how I handle it. So these were my 3 binders that I started out with. If you're new to cash budgeting, what I would recommend is definitely pick out a handful of categories that are categories that you want to keep a hawk eye on, and have that be something that you come up with, whether it be groceries, that's pretty common. Eating out, those are pretty common. We all have to eat. So those, and then gas and just various categories like that on there. You can also have like a bills binder if you're one who pays your bills in cash or tracks that, such as that. I haven't moved to that quite yet because most of our bills are automated through our checking account, and so it's just easier for me to leave that money in the checking account than rather than pull and put it back and pull and put it back. These ones I'm constantly spending it, so it's not as big of a deal to like pull and put this back, and plus all of the spending within this easily falls within our buffer, so that was something that I was kind of okay with doing it. This is your budget whenever you're doing it, so just make it work for you. We can always give you tips and tricks on what works for us, but really what you're going to find best is as you do your own budgeting and get used to doing it your way, you'll learn to tweak it and what works for you and your budget. So these were my first 3 wallets that I had, and then I just kind of slowly grew my stash. Also, I have, since I sell these wallets, I had a whole bunch of colors that I brought to my shop, and I'm like, I want to find a way to use most of those colors. So I just kept coming up with, well, I could do this for a binder, I could do this for a binder, and then it just kind of grew. So these are my 3 OG binders, I would call. So let's put those to the side. And then my next binders that came about would be these. So they have various spending. I want to say, let's see. I don't know if they originally all started within this color. I know that the ones in here started in a different color, and then I got these sparkly envelopes from Izzy. So I'm like, she's all about green and like shamrocks. So I wanted to do my like more emerald green binder as kind of like a nod to her, since I was using her product. Now the trackers inside, those are mine. So this is my jigsaw challenge. I wouldn't say this is the next thing that I brought it to my rotation pretty soon after I developed the product. You'll kind of see in the trackers, I have offered various other like jigsaw trackers that you can kind of customize to your name. I offered those for like the longest time, but then I got the idea, hey, how about I go ahead and like tweak each one of those letters and then spell out the different months of the year and have the same amount of puzzle pieces as days of that month in each like word in totality, and then have each puzzle piece be equal as the numerical value of the month. So that's kind of how this challenge came about. And so I thought it was really fun. So of course I'm like, you know what? I want to do that. I want to actually push myself to take care of this and finish this challenge. So I've been doing that. Originally this was supposed to be in with my, actually not originally, it still is. This is one that I used to stuff with my Etsy payout earnings. So this is a binder that's used very often in that video that I put on. And so that's kind of how a lot of these grew about, is that I started making better sales in my Etsy earnings and stuff. So I'm like, you know what, I can have fun with this money. So what I first do with that money is I put it towards business expenses, and then anything left over I'll put to like a savings challenge. And then once that savings challenge is completed, I'll take that money and like reallocate it over something that's like more specific. And so I'm really happy that I was able to implement this into that video, and it stayed. The thought behind this one is I wanted to have this be part of my Etsy binder stuffing as well. However, I've had to move it out of there and put it into my normal weekly stuffing because it was just getting too much for me to handle within my Etsy earnings. My Etsy shop isn't quite where I want it to be. I'm slowly growing it, and I'm excited the trajectory I'm on right now. I'm starting to come up with new products. My kids are back in school, so I'm really hoping to bring some new fresh ideas to the shop, which will I think help drive the sales. So this was originally in my rotation for my Etsy earnings video, but I kind of slowly found that it was stressing and taking a lot of those earnings away. Because I mean, if you look at it, they're like around $100 on each stuffing, and so that's a huge chunk. I'm usually making anywhere from like $300 to $500. So when it's all said and done, after I've stuffed myself for my Etsy binder, which you'll see here in a minute, I don't have as much to play with. And then there's another binder that I like to use in my Etsy rotation that was more important to me to keep there. So I'm like, you know what, I can stretch an extra $100 in my weekly stuffing. So I've moved this into my weekly stuffing, and so have these other two. They originally started with my Etsy earnings, and then I grew my other binder that's priority there a lot. So I moved those away from there and into the savings challenges of my weekly stuffing. And that's one tip I would give, is go ahead and start yourself small. Start it with stuff that's important to you. And then once you kind of have a handle on stuffing these types of wallets, then grow into like savings challenges. So like pick one, pick two, or pick just a little bit and like kind of grow it. And then once it's a habit, then you can kind of grow into the habit and do more and more. Because I want to say, when I started this, I think the first one I did was this wallet, which is my annual wallet, which is allows me to kind of take like bite-sized pieces at a bigger savings goal. So this is earmarked for a very large bill that we have on an annual basis. So after the 12 months of stuffing, I'll save $5,000, which is enough to go ahead and pay that bill off. So that's why I used this one. And then I just thought this jigsaw challenge was fun. And then I knew that I wanted to bring in some of the savings challenges that I had created for my shop. So that's how this one kind of came about. So I have a lot of my denominational challenges. So I have my $1, my $5, my $10, my $20 savings challenges. So if there's anything kind of left over in this purple wallet, I'll kind of put it in these challenges. Now this is my second time working towards finishing this challenge. So my $1 challenge I can finish quite easily. And so if I have extra in some of these categories, I will use this. Or in my game challenge binder, if after I've stuffed that, if I just have a few random singles still left, I'll go ahead and put them in the $1 challenge to kind of work towards finishing this. And then same for some of these. And then I really wanted to do a 52-week challenge, so I took the $10 one because I'm like, you know what, I can spare an extra $10 every single week just to kind of like plug away at that. So that's where I came up with this one. And then here are just some other various savings challenges for different spending that's occurred. So my husband likes to go to the Chicago Bears. We live in Southern Illinois, and so he always likes to go up like at least once a year, watch his favorite team play. And so he started taking our two sons with him too. So every year he buys tickets. So I am like, this year I'm like, you know, I'm going to make a tracker for that, and I can reuse it. It's laminated. So this is a tracker I'm working on for the tickets for this season. And then I've had some major dental work done on my mouth, so I'm in the process of paying that off. So I'm currently working, this is my third tracker, towards some of my dental work. I started my largest amount to like my smallest amount. So I have this one, and then once this is done, I have another dental work tracker. So these are kind of like not so fun bills and stuff so they're a pretty decent priority. I mean, I guess this one's fun, but it just kind of, these went together. So that's what this wallet is for. And then this is more like house type things, I would say. Speaking of, tracker usually goes in front, so that way I know what it is for. So we had a hot tub, we have a hot tub that came with our house, and I think it was like 2 years ago or something, the hot tub was sunk in our deck. We decided we wanted to take the deck out, and this might be a random cut. We live right by a train, and it decided to go through, blowing its horn, so I wanted to pause while that went through. So this wallet is primarily like household stuff, is kind of what I've figured it for. There's a few odds and ends in here that wouldn't necessarily be attributed to household, but our house came with a hot tub and it was in a sunken in deck. Well, about 2 years ago, we decided we wanted to rip the deck out, and we had previously put in a paver patio that the deck walked down into, and we decided we wanted to extend it so we could have one big, large patio. And so when we did that, the company that was putting in the paver patio, they actually spliced the line for our electrical for our hot tub. So our hot tub had been not hooked up for about like a year or two. And so right before my father-in-law got really, really sick, him and my husband were working towards getting the electrical connection reconnected. And then my father-in-law just took a turn for the worse. So he wasn't able to help out, and we were really knee deep in making sure that we were available to help him and my mother-in-law kind of get through that whole process. And so it just kind of got pushed to the back burner. Well, when we remodeled our bathroom, we decided to have the guy remodeling our bathroom take a look at what it would take to put the electrical back together. So he took care of that for us. Then when we finally got it hooked up and ready, it ran good for like one time. And then when I went to kick it back on again, it was just acting up. So we had to call someone out to look at it. And so they looked at it, and there was some repair work there. So that's what this is from. And then this year we decided to replace the playset that we had for our older kids, because our youngest was getting big enough that she would want to be playing, and it was in such disrepair that it wasn't very safe. I didn't really want her on it because some of the railings, spindles and stuff, they were ripped off by our kids. Our kids just, they started tearing it apart. So it just was not good. So I got a really good deal on a new playset and had it installed. So that's what this is for. So I'm hoping to have this paid off by the end of the year. And then I went ahead and started this new savings tracker for swim lessons for next year, because I found out that we're probably going to be doing quite a bit of swim lessons, and next year all 4 of the kids will be able to be in swim lessons. And so just easier for me to start saving now rather than just shelling out a couple $100s and be like, okay, where am I going to get that from? And then we put new carpet in our house. It's hard flooring, but there was a few areas that had carpet. So we decided to recarpet right around the time that we were doing our bathroom renovation. And then we also got a new washer and dryer around that time. And then this is some of the odds and ends of our bathroom remodel. Our contractor, he's already been paid and dealt with. This is some fixtures and stuff that I purchased through Home Depot and Lowe's. So that's what this is for. So I want to say I think this is our Lowe's tracker. I think I have like 5 years to pay on that. So we are good there. There's also a couple other savings challenges that I might add to this. We're in the process of getting an account, so that needs to come in here, and just some other odds and ends that came up for when we ended up having to redo our basement through the flooding. So these are my various savings challenge binders that are like kind of earmarked for specific things. So this was my next thing that I went into. And again, I kind of started it slow. I started with like 1, maybe 2, and then it just grew and grew and grew. Like, so if I like went out and purchased something on extended financing, I'm like, well, I need to go ahead and get the cash saved so that when the financing expires, I have the cash to go ahead and pay that off. So that's what these were kind of for. And so I'll just make myself a savings shower, throw it in here, and then put it into my weekly stuffing rotation. So this is definitely not something that I would have been capable of doing when I first started my journey. So again, I want to stress, if you're just now starting your cash budgeting journey, start small, get it into a habit, and then you can eventually grow it to what you see others, like such as myself and others in the budgeting community doing. We didn't start out with massive amounts of binders to begin with. You start with a little bit and then maybe add another binder and then maybe another one or another savings challenge. So that's what I have here. And then let me grab my next 2 binders. So my next 2 binders this is my game challenge bundle, and then this is my Etsy earnings binder. I really wanted to kind of be transparent when it came to running my Etsy shop and how much I'm bringing in, what I'm making, and where the money is going. So I made this binder. So in here I have supplies, equipment. I save a little bit for taxes, and it'll be interesting at the end of the year to see if this is actually going to be necessary or not, because I run my shop as a sole proprietorship. So all of my taxes actually run through my personal taxes. So if my husband is paying excess in his W-2 taxes, which can happen given a lot of the situation going on with us and our family. I mean, we have 4 kids and we have a bunch of deductions that aren't necessarily taken and factored into the W-4. I mean, the W-4 has gotten better, but there's still some things that can get missed there. I might not actually need this, and so if that's the case, I will just take it and put it towards some savings challenge. But for now, I'm trying to save around 25% of my taxes, and I kind of check into it quarterly to see, okay, is this something that I need to be sending some money into so that way I can avoid some penalties? That's my hope. And then subscriptions, this is for my ink and like Canva, and then I just like to have miscellaneous, whether this be supporting other small businesses or anything like that. So this is my business expense wallet. And so I would say I did these wallets, and then I think I did this, and then this one came into play with this as well. And then I came up with my brilliant ideas for my game challenge, and I knew I had to make myself a binder, and I had to do it in the A5. I absolutely love this binder, and you guys seem to love these things too, because this is one of my top sellers. Not necessarily just the binder, but like the challenges in and of itself. So I pretty much have every single game challenge that I offer in my shop in here. And now I'm just going to let you fair warning that every one of my challenges that are in here are like, I took the defective version of it. Cause like I would make one and like it would be messed up. So I would just take it for myself because I'm like, oh, I don't want to throw it away. I don't want to waste it. I don't have it. Let me put it into this binder. So if you see things that don't look the best in my challenges, just keep in mind that I keep the worst of the worst for myself, and I don't really send anything out that's terrible to customers because I definitely have a high standard for my stuff. So that was my Uno challenge, and then I have my bingo challenge. See that crease there? And I'm like, I can't send that. So I'm like, I will take it. And then my savings land challenge, Yahtzee, and then roll the dice, and then luck of the draw, Savopoly, dominoes, and then I did my purple word search because I'm like, I'm obsessed with purple. I want my purple version, but I do have a rainbow version that has budgeting words with it. And then Clue, I still need to make myself some more cards because I've completed this once, but I want to do it again. It's my favorite game. And then Tetris, and then Scrabble. You can see here that I messed up the dimensions when I resized it for the A6, and I didn't make this quite tall enough. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. I will take it. And then Rubik's Cube, which is one of my favorites, Battleship, and then my newest Rock, Paper, Scissors. So this binder you'll see quite often in my Etsy stuffings, and so it's just a lot of fun. I use the games to kind of incentivize myself to save money, and then when I've completed a game or completed a tracker, I'll put it off to the side and I will reallocate it to something else for savings. In fact, you'll kind of see some of this. I have this secret stash one. This is actually a reject pouch that I made for a customer that I'm like, I don't like the way that looked, so I just put it to the side and I started using it. So when I complete challenges, I'll put this in here, and then I will put it to the side and figure out what I'm going to do with this. And so I think I have like a little over $400 in this right now, which will be reallocated in a future video. So I'm excited to get that one filmed. I just have to see where I'm sitting at with cash, figure out what I need to go grab from the bank to go ahead and get that set up. So that's this. So let me move this out of the way. And then I'm going to show you my two newest additions to my little setup. So these are my Alana binders, and so I have the purple, the light purple Alana binder, and then I have my navy Alana binder. These are like my two favorite colors that I offer. I have a few other colors out there as well, so definitely check my shop out and see if you see another color you like. I have a red one, a light gray, a green one, and a black one. So one of those colors, I got to figure out which one I'm going to use. Is probably going to come into rotation, and I'm going to use it because I started making some new product that I'm like, I want to use those products. So I feel myself getting myself another binder. Why not? It's fun. So this binder is my month ahead binder. So I have my different bills. And so this is kind of how I incorporate my bills. I want to try and get slowly a month ahead. So when I started this, I'm like, I'm not going to cash stuff my bills. And I'm not really doing that. I'm taking this slow but surely to kind of get an extra month worth of these bills put towards like our emergency fund. So we're getting there. It's a progress, but we're making some progress. And then this binder is where a lot of that cash from my secret stash came from. This is my $2 Tuesday binder. So every Tuesday I roll the dice and figure out where I'm going to put some cash. And so I've been doing some like mini challenges and stuff. So I'm still plugging away at my $2 challenge. And then I'm working on this one. I think this is from Gold. What is that? I don't remember who this challenge is from. I need to write it on there. But she has a bunch of like these cute little fun animal designs, so I had to have them. And then this is from Margie at the Budget Evolutions. I'm working on this budget with Mrs. P, and then Sweet and Sassy Budgets. I love the turtle, and then budget with Carly. So I am using some of my challenges, but then I also want to use this binder to showcase some others in the budgeting community, their challenges. So there's that. And then of course, everyone's doing the challenge, the Ding 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 challenge. I had to jump on and do this as well. So this is from Donna, Powered by Creativity. So again, once you kind of start developing your first bit of habits, you can kind of grow it and have a bunch of fun. Because I mean, when I started this almost a year ago, or I should say when I restarted my budgeting journey almost a year ago, I couldn't have fathomed having as many binders as I have, but they're fun. That's the point of the budgeting community, is to have us inspire you into doing things with your budget, to have you have fun, to save your money, pay off debt, do what you need to do to make your money work for you. So hopefully you guys got some benefit out of this, enjoyed kind of a walkthrough of the various binders I had, some tips and tricks along the way of where I started and how I grew to what I have here now. So I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.